Hello everyone, and today I'll be reading my presentation about Galileo Galilei. I hope you enjoy. Okay, let's just get started. So, first, and honestly, we're gonna do his life story. So, his life began in Pisa, Italy, on February 15th, 1564. And would be the eldest son of his 6 other siblings. When he turned 15, he went to live in a nearby monastery to learn Latin and mathematics. He was going to become a monk, actually. But then, in 1581, his father wanted him to become a doctor. In my opinion, that's pretty relatable. So he went to the University of Pisa to study in medicine. Then, one day, he was in a cathedral where he saw a lamp that was swaying side to side on the ceiling, which he saw was swaying constant, and it depended on the length of the pendulum, on how it was swinging, which became the basis of regulation clocks. Interesting. And later, he would also do an experiment with the Tower of Pisa, where he would drop objects off the top with different weights, and discovered how they would hit the ground at the same time due to constant acceleration. This is a very, very important experiment. But again, some of the sources are like, hey, this thing wouldn't happen, okay? Or at least in dropping weights off the Tower of Pisa, because there's no evidence. So I just put it in here anyways. I do that with some other things when the articles and sources confuse me. I think that happened with the Mickey Mouse one. But yeah, I do that sometimes. And I just want to point that out, because sometimes it's like, this didn't happen. So just in case, I just put it in anyways. Okay, so let's get back to it. He also created the compass, which helped ships with directions. Because of this, he was able to get a big house, while sadly, his partner, Marina, I think that's how you say it, had to live on her own because they were not married. That's what? Wait, did they marry eventually? I'm not sure. Okay, where was I? Oh, but the biggest event that happened to him was in 1609 at Venice, when he heard about the Dutch perspective glass. After that, he made his own telescope, which was 32 times stronger than the Dutch perspective glass. That's pretty impressive. I think now that would be like more like a toy telescope, Not really those high power ones, but still really impressive for the time. And got lots of discoveries for it. So, in my opinion, that's pretty much a W. His telescope used a 37mm objective lens, which he used to discover the 4 main moons of Jupiter: Io, Callisto, Europa, and Ganymede. I might actually make a video on them. That's a pretty good idea. At first, he thought they were stars, but a couple days later, he would realize they were moons, and they would later be called the Galilean moons, after him, of course. And he would also find that the moon isn't perfectly smooth. Then, in 1610, he discovered Saturn's rings. But back then, he thought that they kind of looked like ears or lobes, probably because of how its angle shifts, like its axis. I think that sometimes happens. Yeah, that makes sense. or lobes. And he discovered that Venus also had phases. But his biggest discovery happened when he... Oh, whoops. When he... When he supported the Copernican theory by writing a book called Ceresus Nuncius. I think that's Latin, and I think I might have just butchered that, but I think it'll be fine. Sorry if I did, though. Which, in English, means sidereal messenger, or starry messenger. Where he had wrote down all of his discoveries and theories, where he also mentions and supports the Copernican theory. And if you don't know what the Copernican theory is, I might make a video on that too. But basically, it's a theory made by someone named Nicholas Copernicus, he was a Polish astronomer, and it basically says that the sun is the center of the universe instead of the earth. Back then, it was widely believed that the earth is the center of the universe. So, yeah. Then, in 1614, the Catholic Church discovers the book, and in 1616, they put him on trial for heresy. I think that's how you say it, yeah, heresy, which ended as a warning, since it was going against the well-respected geocentric model, which was made by Ptolemy. And like I said, it's where the earth is the center of the universe. And heresy is basically the act of defying the Catholic Church, or I guess any religion for that matter. I think that's a good definition. Yeah, we'll just stick with that, and yeah. Galileo was Catholic himself, but he didn't want to give up. So, in 1632, he published another book that would explain what the Copernican theory is and why he accepted it. He was then brought to Rome to have a trial by the Inquisition, a special group of people who dealt with heresy against Catholicism. He was punished with house arrest for the rest of his life until he passed away in 1642. And after that, it wasn't until 1992 that the Catholic Church accepted his discoveries as fact. But by then, Galileo had already paved the way for space exploration. And now you know how the father of modern physics came to be. Galileo Galilei. So that's a really, really inspirational story. It's very inspiring. And yeah, I really look up to him. He's probably one of the reasons that I love science, you know. Another new reason, so. I love the guy, he's very nice. Never met him, but like. Now, we're moving on to the fun facts. Fun facts about Galileo. Fact number 1. Did you know that Galileo was buried 2 times? Interesting. I think a fact that I forgot to put is that during that time, someone actually, what was it? The middle finger? Yeah, they took the middle finger, and they took something else, but I can't remember. I know that they definitely took like some minor limbs from his body during those 2 times. So, yeah. Interesting story. Very interesting story. Well, a fact does have a story, but like, what am I saying? Fact number 2. Did you know that King Louis the 15th? I'm sorry, I forgot to like read the Roman numerals. Whoops. I think it's 8. Yeah, we're just gonna sing King Louis XIV, okay? And then you can comment down below if you know the answer, or I could comment down later, but like, yeah, I don't really know at the moment. Sorry. Asked Galileo to find new planets for France. It's a very interesting fact. Yeah, like, if I had a job to discover planets for a country, not gonna lie, knowing me, I would definitely do it. Fact number 3. Did you know that Galileo wrote about relativity almost 300 years before Albert Einstein, which to him states that it is impossible by mechanical means to determine if we are moving or staying at rest. But he also said that one's impression of movement depends on the movement of us as well as the movement of the object. This inspired the basis of Einstein's theory of general relativity. So yeah, I don't know why, but I may just be confusing this and mixing it up. Sometimes I do that, but it kind of sounds like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle to me. A tiny bit. I don't know why, it just reminds me of it. Even though it sounds a little different, because it says that you can't determine the movement or the position of a quantum object. And this sounds a little different, so it's probably not related, but it reminds me of it. So I'm just pointing out. Fact number 4. Did you know that there is a probe that is named after Galileo? And I think went to study the Galilean moons, which, you know, it's very suited for that since it's named after Galileo, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. And the end. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you learned something new, and I hope you have a new like inspiration. Because when I learned about him, or when I studied him for the first time, he became one of my new out of many inspirations for science. You know, so he's very cool. He's very nice. Again, I never met him, but he just yeah, he just sounds like a really good help to science, because he's like father of modern physics, so it makes sense, you know. I don't even know what I'm getting on. But yeah, it was a very fun presentation, just like most of the presentations, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day. Sorry if it took a while to not only prepare but to read this, but I hope you guys still enjoyed while it lasted, and have a great day. I'll see you in my next video.